Hi folks, this is Calc 1 Quiz 6. Number 1, we're given a function f of x. We're asked to use the limit definition of derivative to find f prime of x. What is the limit definition of derivative? F prime of x is limit delta x goes to 0, f of x plus delta x minus f of x over delta x, provided this limit exists. So what we need to do is compute this difference quotient and simplify it enough so this delta x in the denominator cancels out. So that's our first goal here, is to simplify the difference quotient. So it's going to be 3 divided by the square root of 2 times the quantity x plus delta x plus 1 minus 3 divided by the square root of 2x plus 1 over delta x. And there are two things we're going to need to deal with. Eventually I want to cancel this delta x from the denominator. So I'm going to have to deal with these denominators, and then I'm going to have to deal with the radicals. So to deal with the denominators, I'm going to multiply the numerator and denominator by the least common denominator of these little denominators. So I'm going to multiply by the square root of 2 times this times the square root of this. So I'm multiplying the whole numerator times that and the whole denominator. When I multiply these by the first term, these denominators cancel. When I multiply here, I get the other denominator to cancel. And in the denominator now, I'm starting to rack up quite a few unpleasant things. But we just copy them down. And we don't simplify the denominator at all, because remember, eventually delta x is going to 0, and we want this already factored to cancel out. Now we have to deal with those radicals. And since we have two terms, we can multiply by the conjugate. Like that. Now when we multiply by the conjugate, we're going to get the difference of squares to set up here. First times first squared minus the last squared. The terrible middle terms are going to cancel out. And by squaring the first and last terms, we're going to end up getting rid of these radicals. Okay, so difference of two squares, I'm going to square the first term. Subtract off what I get when I square the last term. And my denominator is ever more obnoxious. So let's look at what's going to happen with this numerator. I've got 3 squared, which is 9. I'm taking the square root, then squaring it, so that eliminates the square root. Minus 3 squared is 9. Squaring the square root eliminates it. And I'm going to simplify 2x plus 2 delta x plus 1. And then when I go to simplify that further, what do I get? I get 18x plus 9 minus 18x minus 18 delta x minus 9. and I get negative 18 delta x. So that's what's going on in the numerator. I'm just going to get negative 18 delta x up there, divided by the obnoxious denominator. So finally, we've simplified the difference quotient enough so that the delta x, which is going to cause problems as delta x goes to 0, is gone. Now it's time to finally take the limit. Alright, so the limit as delta x goes to 0 of our difference quotient is the limit as delta x goes to 0 of this guy. This was our, and hold back the laughter here, this was our simplified difference quotient. It was simplified because we finally got the delta x out of the denominator. At this point then, I can substitute in delta x equals 0, and I get negative 18 over, here I get a square root of 2x plus 1. When delta x is 0, I get another square root of 2x plus 1. And what do I get over here? I get 3 square root 2x plus 1, plus another 3 square root 2x plus 1. So I got 3 of these and 3 more of them. That gives me 6 of them. 6 goes into negative 18. I get negative 3. And I have the square root of 2x plus 1 times the square root of 2x plus 1 is 2x plus 1 times another square root 2x plus 1. So this, folks, is f prime of x. And you'll notice it exists anytime x is greater than negative 1/2. That actually matches our original domain. That'll do it for part A. Alright, with our derivative in hand, we can now go about finding the equation of the tangent line at x equals 4. So the equation of the tangent line, remember, y equals f prime at c, x minus c, plus f of c. Alright, so that's at the point c comma f of c. So here our c is 4. So the slope is f prime at 4. So it's minus 3 divided by 2 times 4 plus 1 times the square root of 2 times 4 plus 1. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So I get negative 3 over 9 square root 9, which means I get negative 1/9. So that's the slope. If I get f of c, that's the y value. That's going to be 1. So my tangent line, y equals negative 1/9 x minus 4 plus 1, which if you simplify, you get minus 1/9 x. This would give you positive 4/9. Positive 4/9 plus 1 is 4/9 plus 9/9, and that's 13/9. That'll do it for part B.